Hey River Falls Wrestling, thanks for joining us again. Okay, so what's the plan with tradition? River Falls Wrestling has a long-standing tradition, great history, a lot of influential people, a lot of tremendous success, and I've already heard a lot of questions about how I'm going to reinstill some of the traditional values and expectations that we've had here in this wrestling program, because tradition is an important piece of the puzzle that has gone missing over the last few years. And you know, truth be told, that there's just a lot of people now in the wrestling program who don't know the tradition that we've had. There's community members, there's former athletes who are part of a really strong tradition, but more recently, some of that tradition has gone missing. And you know, as we try to create a new identity and re-identify ourselves as athletes and as a wrestling program in general, we do want to get back to some of those traditional values. At the same time, we're going to have to make our own tradition, but one of the things that is going to remain is that River Falls Wrestling, the history, has been a tradition of excellence. Now, we've had traditions of very successful teams, multiple state champions, some state finalist teams. We've had some coaches that are in the Hall of Fame. You know, we've had some individual athletes, some other type of people who are in various Hall of Fame. So we've had a lot of great credentials, a lot of positive outcomes. But if we're going to be process focused, we have to focus on that tradition of excellence. All right, so let me explain it to you here a little bit. So basically, excellence is just something that's uncommon. It's not ordinary. And you know, in our society today, if we become common or become like everyone else, then we're not experiencing excellence. We're not exceptional. We're not being you know, set apart. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those standards. Basically, what it comes down to is that we would use wrestling as an avenue to teach life, right? And we've talked about that in a lot of different areas with our wrestlers already, about how wrestling is a metaphor for life. But I think about our community right now, and we have former wrestlers who are doing great things in our community and in other communities too, but they've started businesses, they've led well, they're great family people, they're giving back. So when we talk about this excellence, one of the things that is going to be crucial for us is that that our athletes understand that they're role models. They're role models to the younger athletes, and that amongst each other there needs to be accountability, but that they'll be held accountable by these young athletes. We also need to develop just a healthy line of communication between the coaches, the athletes, the parents, and everybody, so everyone understands their expectations, and that our expectations are very, very clear for everyone involved in the program. So with all of that stuff is we just want to kind of package that into a little program that we create difference makers, that the people that are a part of River Falls Wrestling are difference makers, that they make a difference in the workplace, they make a difference in their family, they make a difference in our community, in our society, that they're out there doing things, and maybe it's in wrestling, maybe they get a job in wrestling long term, but maybe they don't. And wherever they fall, they're going to be better off because of being involved with wrestling, because of the standards that we have created through a tradition of excellence. So when we look at excellence, you know, Aristotle has that famous quote, is what we repeatedly do, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act but a habit. So we want to try to make this excellence a habit. By the time they leave River Falls Wrestling, that it's a habit for them to have excellence in every area of their life, and that they go out into the workplace, out into college, out into their families and everywhere, and they just represent excellence. And that's really what River Falls Wrestling is all about. That's the tradition that we're going to carry forward. So when you ask what the plan is about bringing tradition back, it's not always about banners or credentials or, you know, getting our alumni or our state champions back in. It's just reinstilling that whole attitude of excellence. We're going to have those high standards, and they're going to be standards of excellence.